What's up, guys? This is the new Apple Watch Series 5. I've never owned an Apple Watch ever before, so this is going to be kind of an interesting experience. So again, this is the first time I've ever opened an Apple Watch. So I figured instead of playing music here like I normally would, I'd kind of dub over and go through the experience as I was opening it up for the first time. Now this is kind of interesting, the way they've wrapped this at the bottom. I've never seen this on any kind of packaging before. You kind of lift them up and off it comes, and there's the watch on the inside. Really cool. So there's the band on top, and then the watch is actually inside the second box here on the top. I went for the Milanese loop. It's kind of like a really fine mesh loop, and quite honestly, I prefer the look of this over the rubber or sports bands any day. And now we'll open up the watch box. Now this is really nice, the way that they've packaged the watch here. It's in like almost like a little leather kind of pouch, and it just slides out here. And there's the new Apple Watch Series 5. And then you've got the of course the packaging, standard charger, and the charging brick. Some really great footage I'm getting right now. Here we go. All right, so time to swap watches here. And we'll slide this on. Kind of nervous, not sure how it'll fit or how it secures in. There we go. There's the Apple Watch Series 5 on the wrist. It goes to show you how little I know about Apple Watches. I've set up the watch face backwards. Oops. Okay, so since the Apple Watch is still syncing and setting itself up here, I figured I might as well kind of go through my thought process on finally purchasing an Apple Watch after 5 generations. I'm a big mechanical watch guy. I own several of them, almost 10 of them now. Personally, the Apple Watch original generations, so Series 3, 2 and 1, I mean, if I'm being honest, when they came out, they didn't really appeal to me as a watch guy. You know, compared to something as thin on the wrist as a watch like this. You know, the Apple Watch Series 1, 2, and 3, they were kind of chunky, and they didn't look like watches, and they just didn't look right on the wrist. Series 4 looked better. I liked how they thinned it out and they stretched the screen to go edge to edge. That's when I started kind of taking some interest in the Apple Watch a little bit more. But again, the fact that it didn't have that always-on screen, which the Series 5, of course, does, sort of a deterrent, right? It wasn't like a watch like this, where I can just quickly glance and very easily see the time, and in this case of this watch, also the date. So when this watch was announced and they said that they were coming out with the always-on display, and of course the case being thinner as it is now on the Series 5, just like it was on the Series 4, it was time to try it out and see if I like it. So this one is the 40 millimeter, as I said, stainless steel Apple Watch Series 5 with the Milanese loop. The Canadian retail price was $989. It is the GPS and cellular. For whatever reason, I couldn't order this particular model without cellular, although I don't plan on activating cellular at this time. Unfortunately, here in Canada, we kind of do get hosed on the cellular pricing. Compared to my typical watches, this one looks quite nice on the wrist. It's not overly chunky, and the fit is quite good. At 40 millimeters, it's about the same size as this watch I just took off here. And once it's all set up, I'm going to play with it a little bit and let you know some of my initial thoughts and feedback. Okay, so just a quick comparison between the new Apple Watch Series 5 and the watch I was wearing earlier. This is the iconic Rolex Submariner. This is a 40 millimeter watch, of course the same as the new Apple Watch Series 5 that I picked up. Also available in a 44 millimeter, but I figured that would be a little bit too big. I don't wear traditional watches that large. Now, of course, difference in shape. This is a squared face, if you will. And of course, this is a round face as you'd find on a traditional watch. Time and date on both, Friday the 20th. Looking at them side by side, you can see the Apple Watch is still a little bit thicker, and it looks like the majority of that difference is actually in the heart rate sensor and monitor that's at the back here, but genuinely quite thin for a smartwatch, considering all that's packed in there, battery, all the technology and processor, etc. That is really quite impressive to see there. Now again, this is on the Milanese loop. This is on a stainless steel bracelet as well. This is the stainless steel case for the Apple Watch. Let's put them on the wrist and take a quick look. So there is the Apple Watch Series 5 on the wrist. As you can see, that's quite snug on there. Not a lot of flex. So you can see that's sort of the passive mode there, the new always on screen. You can see that the face is dimmed out, so it doesn't have all the same brightness and animation working as it does in the full mode. There you go. So it's the brighter, and then you put it to sleep, and there you go, it's dimmed out. Believe it or not, I would say they weigh actually about the same as well. Apple Watch is a little bit heavier, maybe, only slightly, not dramatically different between the two. You're all right. Good boy. I've been playing with the Apple Watch Series 5 for a couple of hours now. Kind of customize the watch face and install all my apps for my phone so it can kind of control the things in my home. So initial impressions, it fits quite nicely. I've been wearing it around, playing with the dog, working in the kitchen. It's very light on the wrist, like a traditional wristwatch, traditional mechanical watch would be. That's quite nice. Always on the screen. It's subtle, as you can see there, and it kind of goes into the always on mode almost immediately as soon as you sort of turn the wrist away from you. It just dims out. I've almost found that it's almost immediately activating as soon as you turn the watch face towards you. So it's almost like the always on screen doesn't even need to be there, because the majority of the time, if you're going to glance at it, it's waking up anyway. It's kind of interesting that the way they've implemented it. You use Siri to voice command all the same things I would on my iPhone and my desktop. For example, I have Philips Hue bulbs all over my house, so I'm able to use the watch app here to actually connect right with Hue. So I have the Hue app running here. I can see all of my lights. I can even see the most recently used moods, which are the room setups, the lighting setups for the Hue app. So I can activate on or off right from the wrist. Generally speaking, the selection of apps on watchOS is great. Everything I would have on my phone, for the most part, has a companion app here. Starbucks, Facebook Messenger, Spotify, MailChimp. Even my banking is available through the watch app as well, so I can check my business banking, which is pretty unique. Now, as I said before, I've never owned an Apple Watch before, so I'm kind of still getting used to the interface and how the OS works. For the most part, the interface is pretty easy to navigate. You can use the wheel to zoom in and out, get a view of the entire app grid, as you can see there. And you drag the apps around, I don't know. But it is really cool to see that almost everything I use on a day-to-day basis has a companion app. All in all, it's a pretty cool device. I really do like the always on display, the fact that I can always see it. I've customized the watch style to be something a little bit more traditional versus some of the other watch faces options, which are pretty funky. But yeah, my first couple hours, really enjoying the watch actually. This is sort of the first generation of the Apple Watch I considered buying because it finally has a lot of the features I was looking for. Is it gadgety? Sure. But I think some of the new features in this guy make it a bit more than just a gadget. They're getting closer and closer to sort of nailing the perfect mix between traditional and new age watch technology, and I'm really excited to continue testing it out and seeing how it goes.